Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. Tired of pushy recruiters sending you LinkedIn requests for jobs you have no interest in? Tired of blasting out resumes into the dark? If so, you should check out Hired.com. Hired.com flips job searching on its head by having top employers like Facebook come to you after you fill out one simple application. You also get your own job coach to help you on your next job search. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you at least fill out the application. Just go to Hired.com/SimpleProgrammer, and when you get hired with Hired, you'll get double the normal sign-on bonus for using that link. So I got a question on how to build software. This is something that I get a lot of programmers out there, especially new programmers. They feel like they're learning a programming language and they can like fix some bugs and they can do some stuff, but they can't really build a software application. And I totally can relate to this question. This was me. For a long time, I questioned my ability as a software developer, and I said, I'm not really a programmer, I'm not really a software developer, because I can actually really build a full application from start to finish. So I want to address this here. The question is kind of broken up a little bit. This is from Sri Harsh, and he says that you've already answered two of my questions: top IT fields that pay you a lot of money, and how to avoid distractions. Great answers. I'll be learning VR development this summer, and I've also been following the 4-quadrant rule and the 80-20 rule, so Pareto's law. And he says, I still have to learn STL, but after learning all of this, all I can make is programs in command prompt. How do I actually make software? Actually, I still don't know what can C++ do. Yes, I have tried coding competitions, but that's not real software. I want to make real software and not just small programs in the command prompt. Can C++ do anything on its own, or do I have to learn web development to make use of C++? What do I do? Is there any other thing I have to learn? Please help me. Okay, so a couple of things here. You're going about learning the wrong way. This is not the most effective way to learn. I'm going to go into a little bit of the details here and give you the bigger principle and overview of this, but I do have a course on how to learn anything quickly. It's called 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly. You can check it out here. I highly recommend that you make the investment to buy this course to be able to learn this, because especially if you're doing like this and going about things the wrong way, you know, I don't mean to knock you. You're learning a lot of stuff. It's great. It's great that you have the enthusiasm, but I'm telling you that this is not the most effective way to learn. And the reason why, it comes down to this basic principle, which is one of the things I talk about in that course, is that a lot of people, they try to learn information by just like grabbing knowledge from here to here, right? And if you you have this bag and you're like, okay, let's take some STL and put that in there, and how about function pointers, boom, and I need to learn about object-oriented programming, boom, and put it in there, and you're trying to fill your bag with all of this knowledge. Now the problem is that the ability to actually do something is applying knowledge. Wisdom is really the application of knowledge, okay? So and understanding is really what you're seeking, right? So you can have a ton of knowledge, but have no understanding. I'll give you a good example here, right? So I'm learning a foreign language. I'm learning Italian, okay? I could learn all the vocabulary. I could know a whole bunch of Italian words, but until I actually put it in practice and have conversation with people, it's not going to do any good. So one of the methods I'm using is the Pimsleur courses, and it has you talk back. It has you answer questions, and so it's using your brain. It's making you use that Italian in conversation. So it's taking that knowledge and it's applying it. So that's how you get understanding of the language. The same thing I could say, like you could read all about how to do the perfect golf swing, right? But until you're actually out there swinging and applying what you know, you're not going to actually have understanding, and you're not actually going to develop that skill at all. So in this case, what you're doing is you're grabbing that bag of knowledge and you're trying to fill it up so that you have all of this knowledge, and that's the wrong approach. What you need to do is you need to start from the application, right? You need to say, I am learning X so I can do Y. I talk about this a lot, but this is so critical. If you're learning without a goal, if you're learning just for the sake of learning, that might be great for Jeopardy or trivia, but even then you're going to be more successful if you're trying to prepare for Jeopardy by actually specifically learning to prepare for Jeopardy. So what you want to do is you want to shift your focus and say, I am learning X so I can do Y. So what is your why? Start with the why. So if you're learning C++, okay, why are you learning it? So you can build what? So this is why you're having a struggle here, is because you're going backwards. You're trying to learn all the syntax and all the functionality, and then you're like, what do I build with this? Or can I even build something with this? You don't even know. But if you work backwards, right? So one way to do this would be to pick out an application that you want to be able to build, right? I mean, why are you learning programming in the first place? Why are you learning C++? So you can do what? So you can say, you know, C++? That's useless, right? So you get a job? Well, okay. So you can build applications. So start with the application. What is the application that you want to build? Think about the purpose of it. And maybe you have to do some research and see what kind of applications that people typically build with C++, if that's the tool you want to use. Or maybe you might even pick a different programming language, okay? But you start with the application, with the reason why you're learning something. If you say, I want to build a web application, and you make the restriction that you have to use C++, that's fine. But now what you're doing is you got to tell you're learning in order to be able to accomplish that thing, right? So if I wanted to, you know, to learn how to surf, okay, I wouldn't. I would have drills that I would practice. I would have things that I could do in order to accomplish that goal. I wouldn't just be doing those drills for the sake of doing those drills. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've got to know what your end goal is. What are you trying to accomplish? So in your case, it's building applications. One of the things I highly recommend, that I think is a great way to be able to build applications, to build real software, is to build some mobile applications, right? This will give you a ton of confidence. It's super easy to do today, and you can learn the entire life cycle process of actually building an app and getting into an app store. So what you can do is you can say, okay, I want to build a simple application, define what it's going to be, and then work backwards from there and say, okay, well, what do I have to learn? How do I create a screen? Okay, so I have to learn how to create a screen in Android or whatever it is, or iOS. Okay, so then how do I make a button? Okay, so now I have to go and research and learn how to make a button. Or maybe I can figure some of that out. Or how do I make it so when someone presses the button, it does something. It pops up a message. So then you go and you learn that. And so you're learning based on what you need to know, and then that's going to stick. It's going to be understanding, as opposed to just learning, as opposed to just stuffing knowledge into your big bag of knowledge that's useless. You're going to be actually learning. You learn best when you answer your own questions, okay? Again, a lot of stuff I cover in that course on 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly. I'd highly recommend that. But that's the basic framework that you need to utilize in order to learn. You know, what you're doing is, it's just not going to be super effective. You're going to forget most of that knowledge. It's not going to help you as much. And I speak from experience, because I made these mistakes, right? I used to read books cover to cover, and then on a whole bunch of different technologies, just thinking I could acquire all this knowledge, and it didn't really work that well. Okay, I only like grasped maybe like 5% of what I would read, so I was wasting 95% of my time. But then when I started doing it goal outcome focused on what I wanted to accomplish, okay, I want to learn X so I can do Y, I could learn X so much more effectively. I hope that helps you. This is definitely, like I said, a question I get a lot. It's a mistake I made. A lot of people are making mistakes on learning things the wrong way, but ultimately, just have an objective in mind and work backwards from there. Yes, it'll be hard. Yes, you'll have to figure stuff out, but that's how you learn. It's not just memorizing stuff. It's a more painful way to learn, but it will give you true understanding, and that's what you're after, not just about acquiring a bunch of knowledge. It has to be put into application as soon as you learn it, in order to really make it stick, and there's no better way than working backwards on that. All right, if you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to click that subscribe button below, and you'll get the videos. I do about 2 to 3 a day here on this channel. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.